you'll often hear us talking about Mercury retrograde, and we're like, don't get into it at this time. This is actually a really good time to get into it. If you want to, in a
Yes.
very like loving, constructive, in a way, what Corinne was talking about, like in a relationship where you're like kind of healing each other and you're like through triggers and through discussions and growth. This is a really good time for that. So enhanced communication and negotiation. So it's like a harmonious influence of Venus combined with Gemini's communicative nature can really lead to improved negotiation skills and just clear communication, clear understanding. So focus on relationships and partnerships. So this is a period that may highlight the importance of relationships, both personal and professional, with an emphasis on intellectual connection and mutual understanding. Also, Venus in Gemini can bring opportunities for financial gain through intellectual pursuits, communication, and networking. So I see this as a really auspicious time in terms of the positive market sentiment with the Venus cazimi. And so it'll leave the markets just feeling more optimistic and confident. So I'm expecting to see increased trading activity. Again, it's that Gemini communicative energy that can just really result in heightened activity, increased volume and liquidity in the market, and just more market participants, really. And so, yeah, I think it's positive sentiment for price movement as well. The optimistic energy of Venus cazimi will probably lead to positive sentiment in the markets, and Bitcoin prices will hopefully experience a bullish expansion out of that as well. So, yeah, I think it just brings the Venus cazimi just brings this wave of positive energy and intellectual focus to the financial markets. So for Bitcoin, this period is really, marked by positive sentiment and just increased interest and in an intellectual way. It's not just like, oh, my friend told me to put money into this and like hopefully it'll go up. It's like, no, it's like in a very like intellectual understanding what Bitcoin is, understanding how to trade if you're going to trade, like those kind of things. So investors should really leverage this optimistic market conditions and focus on technology, communication sectors, and really stay informed about what's going on in the market, what's being communicated, any news. Like I always overlay news on top of my trading, and I really recommend that because it really is used to shift the market. And so you can kind of get a heads up if you look at when there is news coming out in the markets, and get a bit of a heads up on when those pivot points in the markets may be, as well as our layer of astrology over the top too.
Of course. The stars are there too. And I think that, such a big, beautiful characteristic of the Gemini energy is like wanting to learn and like education. Like I look at the different Gemini aspects that I have in my personal chart, and I'm like, yeah, that's where I have like heightened interest and like that intellectual like desire to like learn and understand things. So I feel like this is definitely that period of time with now a lot of planets shifting into Gemini. I mean, around that time as well, I believe it's the 3rd of June, 3rd, 4th of June, we also have Mercury going into Gemini. So that's so harmonious after this, I'm going to call it icky period of Mercury being in retrograde and just this whole April period. Of just Mercury being in retrograde, like things are not aligned, things are not like, they're not harmonious. And now finally Mercury is at peace in that Gemini energy. Like it's a lot of news will be coming out, there's going to be a lot of chattiness, but I feel like it's going to be favorable. With Bitcoin, I did see that there's a bit of a square. So Mercury is going to be squared the natal Venus of Bitcoin. But I feel just within that, it's going to be like, okay, so people are going to be having discussions around the value of a Bitcoin during this time. So Um, yeah, I'm really excited about this time because I feel like, after this settling down period and kind of, I feel like it's also been a bit of a recharge period. If we have surrendered to it, it's just been like a recharge, reset period. Now we're going to see things start to move again and start to bring, I don't love to use the word excitement, but it is a healthy excitement.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And so that's where I think really make sure for all of us that have been sticking through this period, because I've seen people drop off crypto already. It's only been 60 days since the all-time high. We had a new all-time high. It's only been 60 days. But so many people are like, nah, crypto's boring.
Yeah.
Is the bull run over? And I'm like, we ain't seen nothing yet. Like the outer planets are aligning so beautifully. We've been saying this for now, like several episodes. The outer planets are aligning for Bitcoin and crypto and technology so beautifully.
Yeah.
And this was just kind of like the test to see like, yo, who really wants to stick this through? So don't go anywhere. Like really make sure that you're locked in this time and stepping into this learning even more energy with Gemini.